What episode is this?
55.
Episode 55. Hey everyone, welcome to the 55th episode of the Fargo 3D Printing Show. I'm John Schneider, this is Eric Faldy, and today we're going to talk about a few different things. First off is making music with a 3D printer. So Eric, this was something that you really dove into.
I'd been trying for a while. The thing was that we had this one printer in particular to play with. Zach Triplett was kind enough to donate it to us before he left. I think he's in Omaha?
Yeah, he's in Omaha.
Yeah, so he actually commented on the video that we made, so thank you for commenting, Zach. He said practical use of it is like, not really, but...
I mean, the printer, okay, so this is the MakerBot Cupcake CNC. So this was one of the very first desktop 3D printers.
This is like number 11,000 or something?
Yeah,
it's a pretty early one.
Yeah, they actually serialized these. Yeah,
it's 1146, batch 13. So that's a pretty early one, I think. I mean, I don't know. The issue with this, just I guess diving right into it, is that a lot of the documentation is gone now. After MakerBot went closed source, a lot of the wikis got closed, so all the MIDI to CNC stuff with this particular printer is finito. Like, I can't find it anywhere.
And I mean, just in general, trying to get the printer to a point where we could control it or even get it so it would print again, it's really tough because, well...
There are a lot of problems.
Well, because I don't really know a whole lot about the electronic side and the control side of the 3D printers. I mean, yeah, if you hand me something like a lulzbot, I can figure that out. I can do that. But if you go and, I mean, really back to the basics, it's over my head. I don't know enough about it.
Yeah, so with this one, I guess I'll start off the encoder that is used. It's from homeconstructor.de. It's for Germany. I actually reached out to the guy, and he preferred to be called just Home Constructor, but I'll just read it really briefly. I was just, I want to start picking into people, like what do they do, what's their background. I figured he was a little bit, he wanted to keep, his information to himself. Just looking at his website, it's like, oh, he doesn't have a blog, he doesn't do anything, it's just all his website. And he has a YouTube as well, which you should check out, it's pretty cool. But he said, "Hi, I'm pleased that you want to talk about my converter on your YouTube podcast. I'm a 24-year-old student, electrical engineering from Germany, Bavaria. 6 years ago, I started to develop and build my own CNC milling machine. After 2 years of work, the milling machine was finished, and then I wanted to know if I can play music with it. At the time, there was a Python script for producing the G-code. It's tim.cexx.org/?p=633. We'll have that in the notes, I think.
Yeah.
But for me, it was very disappointing because the MIDI files produced many errors and the sound was not very good. Then I decided to program my own online converter, and now, after 4 years, in most cases, it works pretty well. In a few months, I want to implement a converter for delta bots, which I described here mathematically. And I'll put that down below as well. It's pretty dense. Like, I don't understand any of the math. Maybe in high school when I took these classes, I would have, but I don't know if it's an interesting read except for all the mathematical stuff because I don't understand any of it. If you have more questions, hit me up, pretty much what he said. And just call me Home Constructor. I was ad-libbing a little bit of that, but thank you for emailing back. So just goes to show you, like, email people, maybe they'll answer.
Well, because I mean, it's pretty cool because if he's 24 now...
Yeah, he was 18.
Yeah, he was 18.
18 when he started making his own CNC machine, which you can see on his YouTube channel. It's pretty much, it looks like kind of like a Dremel, something like a Dremel just hooked up on there. And he's blowing it by hand, like keeping the stuff off when he's doing like an acrylic, I guess not a carving, but a milling project. So it's pretty intense. So I was just like really interested. Like I figured it was like some 30-year-old guy from Germany and he's like younger than me. So it's pretty cool. But some issues that I ran into, I guess I'm going to look at my show notes because that's going to keep me on track a little bit. So I found that, I mean, that was the thing you'd always find when you looked at videos, just goes to that. But then you get to the actual website and there are a lot of settings and I don't understand all of them. In Replicator G, which I had to download, it's super old, antiquated. I don't know the last time I had a stable release. But first you need to find a MIDI file. You upload it. There's a bunch of issues with that. You have to have it one channel, otherwise it gets muddy. You can do that, and I think you can do it in GarageBand. I found one called like Temper. There's a bunch of free stuff online. It's not a big deal. Otherwise, you can just find MIDIs pretty much anywhere. I don't know about the legality of all of them, but I got one from a video that we put together for St. Patrick's Day off of accordionmusic.de. So big German theme this episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was. He just said if you use it, just send me a link to what you do with it, and it was down by the Sally Gardens. It's an old Irish tune, and no one knows about it, I guess. But you can pick how many axes. So this one has 3. I only did 1. Couldn't figure out the rest. How many channels? I guess you can do 2, which I didn't remember. Steps per millimeter or per inch, and that's per motor. And that was really confusing for me because I don't know this stuff. So I just kind of played around with it. In Replicator G, it tells you it's like 11 point something, something, something. You can't have a point in this converter. So I just did like it wouldn't work at 12. So it would hit. This doesn't have end stops in it. So it would hit the wall and just, and it would mess up my center point. So I ended up just having to mess with the bounds and the steps per millimeter until it worked. But yeah, pretty much I had a lot of problems. I don't need to go in super detail, but if you watch the video, that was after quite a few times messing around with it. And it sounds kind of deep because it's just, the pitch should be probably about maybe an octave higher. But I was going to fix it, and then I kind of ran out of time. So.
Well, and the enclosure kind of
it makes
too.
it
just kind of gives it more guttural.
It makes it really cool, to be honest. But I wanted to try it for a while to do a 2-channel or like a 4-channel MIDI. But 2 of them I couldn't figure out how to make them stay within the bounds. It kept on hitting the wall, and I wouldn't do that on a normal printer. But this one, you know, it's pretty much a gimme.
Well, you're not gonna. I mean, there's really not much else that we're going to be using it for.
That's pretty much. I think Zach just said if you find a use for it, then cool. So obviously, there's a warning in the program that just says, you know, you're responsible for your own damage.
Use at your own risk.
Pretty much. So
yeah.
I understand that, and it doesn't matter so much for this printer. And I was going somewhere with that. But pretty much, yeah, the pitch was off, and I could have fixed it, but I didn't do it. There's another option where you can make it so when you have a long note or something, it might come to the end point, you know, where it's going to stop, like within the bounds that you set. I think this was 50 millimeters, which I don't know if it's accurate, but it worked, so I just went with it. But it'll either have a stop and keep going, where it'll have a little gap, or else you can disable the brake, which will just keep it like, you know, it'll keep going. So. Yeah, I don't know. And it works out pretty well. In Replicator G, you just copy and paste the G code. And then if there's like a long sustained note, like at the end of the song, you'd maybe have to mess with it because otherwise it goes like 1,000 millimeters. And that's not going to fit on here very well.
Right.
Yeah, documentation. I couldn't find the USB cable. It's a weird serial to USB thing. It was buried away. And I looked for it for about half an hour. I found it, but yeah. Only one motor worked. I couldn't figure out the other ones very well. It would work, but it would sound weird. In the future, I guess I'd like to, maybe not me, but you know how they have like Tesla coils where people plug it into a keyboard?
Oh, yeah.
And then they're just playing like, it sounds like a guitar.
Yeah.
That's cool. And I think that would be really cool to try with this. I just don't have the means to do it. And I don't know if anybody's done it or not.
Well,
it sounds really complicated.
I mean, if someone has done it, please let us know.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, leave a comment down in the comments with a link, because I mean, if the thing is, none of us really have the technical prowess to do it.
I can stumble in the dark and maybe find stuff every once in a while. That's pretty much what happened with this. Just keep going till it works, and it works okay. I mean, I'll probably put some more stuff up, just, you know, if there's like a holiday or just something fun, or if I figure something out, maybe we'll talk about it again. But, and you've done this on the Lulzbot at some point?
Yeah, so there was a video that I did, gosh, that must have been on a Lulzbot 1. So, and I can't remember how I did it, aside from locating a MIDI file, running it through a converter, and then just having it do its thing. I can't remember which converter I used, if it was the same one you used, or if it was
there are several, one. Yeah.
But that one, I think it played Darth Vader's March from Star Wars on the Lulzbot Taz. And then there was one I did, I don't think I have a video of this, but I did it a long time ago, on the Printerbot Junior.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was, I don't know, that was a long time ago.
Did it sound okay? Or?
Yeah, I mean, it actually sounded pretty good. Now, the thing there is it used more, I know it used at least 2 axes at a time, and it might have even used a third. So you could use a multi-channel MIDI. So you weren't limited to just the one channel. But it's been like 2 years since I've done anything with that.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, this one, in the video that I did, I had 2 channels, and I edited them together afterwards, which would have been super cool, except that with the resonance from the case, it ends up causing that much
really
more
loud.
it's an X factor, and just it made it really hard to match them up, because this doesn't take into account like a four bar gap in the beginning of a song. It just starts wherever there's notes. So that was a problem too. So if you listen to the video, like, just appreciate how much time I had to put in to make it sound as not horrible as it does. Like, it still doesn't sound great, but I did what I could. And yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much about it for this one. It was a fun project, and just keep your eyes open for future stuff.
Yeah. So there were, so we have 3 different prints on here. I mean, there's more than 3 prints on here, but there are 3 different models. Prints on here. I don't know. I'm trying to see. Oh yeah, that's in the shot, and you're probably gonna do a close up of that. So,
probably.
So you designed this one. It's a piece of pie that acts as a pen holder. So you did this for Pi Day.
Yeah. So I think I was trying to work on the tutorial video for the Y-axis secondary replacement, and it was really hard to get through that one. It's just like you know, it kept going for like 7 minutes, and it takes more than 7 minutes to edit it. So I made myself distracted so I could eventually finish it. So I worked on this. I probably spent a couple hours on it. I'm trying not to spend too much time on these things, but I wanted to make a piece of pie. Just figure I'll do something for Pi Day. I'll make a piece of pie. Because I look on Thingiverse. That's kind of how my bar. It's like I look on Thingiverse. If I can't find something good, I'll try to make it myself. And then if we make it, we can put it on our Thingiverse, which, these are all on our Thingiverse. So go check that out. It's just Fargo 3D printing, no spaces.
So you did the pie, and then this one. So this is
That's the old one. That's the 3D rabbit. And I don't know if we wanted to springboard off of that and talk a little bit about the press release that went out.
Yeah, so we can talk about that.
Okay.
So 3D USA, which is a daughter company of Fargo 3D Printing, we're actually joining up with 3D Europe, which was the sister company of 3D USA, and 3D Fuel, which is another company that makes filament. So all 3 are coming together under one roof, and it's going to be called 3D Fuel. All the filament is going to change to be marketed as 3D Fuel. So it's going to have the 3D Fuel name on it. So you're going to have the Buzz beer filament by 3D Fuel. You're going to have the hemp, or the entwined hemp filament by 3D Fuel. The APLA by 3D Fuel. So APLA, it's a higher temp resistance PLA. So that press release just came out today, the day that we're filming this, and it is, what is the date today? The 23rd? Yeah, so March 23rd. So yeah, I mean, this is still kind of it's a developing thing. We're going to be pushing out products through more resellers. We're working with some brick and mortar chains. So expect to see the 3D Fuel brand in many more places than you saw the 3D USA brand. For the time being, we're still going to be selling filament through the 3D USA website, but we're actually going to transition to selling it through the Fargo 3D Printing website more. So Fargo 3D Printing is going to be the place to go if you want to find all that stuff. And the cool thing is we are keeping the rabbit, and I don't know if we've officially named him.
The in-house name is Oliver, which I think was your idea. We tried to do kind of like a naming contest, and I apologize for everybody that entered or just gave your input. We just never got back to it, and
I mean, we've just kind of settled on Oliver.
Oliver's kind of stuck.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel bad, but
I guess
it's a good name.
That's as good of a naming convention as any, I guess.
So I redid this one. I tried to make it as true to the cartoon. I think Todd did as possible. This is actually not the final version. The final version has a slightly bigger arm. But yeah, it's just this one's really rounded. It printed okay, but the ears on this one print just that much better.
Well, they look cooler.
This one didn't print very well, but I think that was my fault. I had the printer clogged up on me. I didn't clean it out very well.
Yeah, so Oliver Rabbit, and then the other one is, and I didn't know that you had designed this. I just saw it on the printer one morning when I came in, and it's a little Patrick Star.
So this was for St. Patrick's Day. I had a friend, I was just like, I want to do something for St. Patrick's Day. I'm not Catholic. I don't want to do anything religious. I just want to avoid that because I don't know. And I kind of looked on Wikipedia, and I just got a little more confused. So.
Well, I mean, if you look at how people celebrate St. Patrick's Day, it's not exactly a huge religious holiday.
I didn't want to just print a 4-leaf. I guess 3-leaf clover is like the Trinity thing that they...
Yeah.
So it's more a 3-leaf clover, but 4-leaf clover would probably be fine too.
Well, yeah. Okay, I kind of see where you're coming from.
I mean, I was just
because then you might have people saying, "Oh, well, it should be a 3-leaf clover."
Yeah. So I did my due diligence, and I decided. My friend said, "Why don't you just do Patrick Star?" I was like, "Okay." So I looked online, and then I saw a couple. They weren't great quality. I looked again later. This happens. I look it up later, and then I find something. Yeah. I'm like, oh no.
But this turned out really well.
Yeah, no, I was pretty hyped on it. Like, it was simple enough where I could do it. I think I did it in about 2 hours, and it's not one-to-one with the picture, but you get the idea, and it's actually doing pretty well on Thingiverse as far as our page, so pretty happy with it. It got 50 likes in a week, which I don't think we've had that happen before.
No, not on any of our other prints. Although most of our other prints they're utilitarian in nature, like it's to serve a purpose. This is, I don't know, people will download this just because they can.
And they're not. It's also a copywritten character, so please, I did put that in the copyright thing. Just don't sell this. We don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, no, this is just for fun.
Yeah, so this was in the video that I put on. He was that's kind of why I did it. And I ended up staying here really late into the morning, or early into the morning. But it was fun. It was worth it for me anyway.
Yeah.
So find that. It's just surprised Patrick on our Thingiverse. And then this is, we've now called it Freedom Fuel Rabbit. Just for now. That's what it's called on Thingiverse. And then this is Pi Day Pi. P-I Day, P-I-E. Yep. But yeah, I've done these all in 3D Studio Max 2016. I do vertex modeling. I do a little bit of CAD, but I'm not very good at it. So that's more of a Jake thing.
Yeah, and I'm not good at either. I mean, really. The other cool thing is we are coming up on our 1,000th subscriber on YouTube. We went from, it took a long time to go from 0 to 500, but from 500 to 1,000 has happened very, very quickly. Or I don't know. It's all relative, but it's a lot faster than when we went from 0 to 500.
I'd say the CES footage helped quite a bit. Just the Carbon 3D video in particular. Thanks everybody that's put in your 2 cents on New Pro. I'm sorry, It's the Carbon 3D.
It's like a different version.
It's a very similar style of printing.
Oh, it's understand. I mean, it's a very similar.
Yeah, we've had quite a few comments on that one. Just it's Diego that he might be overbearing. But they're not selling the printer, they're trying to sell the technology, and I think that's been cleared up in the comments, but you can go look, I guess. And then if you do want to see it printing in real time, TCT had a great video. I also put that in some comment in there, but TCT interviewed Diego, and it was a pretty good interview.
Well, that video was just, so we wanted to film it. We really wanted to film it running. And the first time we went by there, and this was just to say hi, find out who they were, what they were all about, it was running, it was printing. I mean, you could see it was printing quickly. And then when we came back to do the interview, it wasn't printing, and we were just asking, hey, we want to do an interview with you. Can we come? And Diego saw that we had a camera, and he just started talking.
Well, I saw that he opened up the enclosure, and I wanted to see what was in there, so I started filming. And then he started talking to you. I said, Eric, you rolling? And then that was the interview. That's how it started. So
yeah, it was. Yeah, it went.
CES is kind of it's kind of a monster, You get there and you just like super overwhelmed. So if we go again next year, which I hope we do, we'll be a lot more prepared and definitely have a lot. I won't get stuck in like knockoff land for half a day like I did this time.
Well, yeah, that was something we all learned. That I mean, there's just almost an entire hall that it's just Chinese USB cables and cell phone cases. I mean, we could go on and on about that. But anyway, back to the 1,000 subscribers.
We're almost to 1,000. I think right now we're at 950-ish, 949.
So by the time this is up, it's very likely that we'll be at 1,000. And we're going to do a special video celebrating the 1,000th subscriber. So we really want to thank you as our viewers, our watchers, listeners, however you want to look at it, for being along with us till we hit 1,000. And so we want to give away a spool of filament and a t-shirt. So as part of this, how this whole giveaway is going to work, we're going to be making a special 1,000th subscriber YouTube video. And so that link's going to be down in the comment section. And just go click on that and leave a comment in the comment section saying, we're going to be giving away a spool of entwined hemp filament. So just say what you would print with entwined filament. And that's how that's going to work. So we're going to run this through April 15th at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. So get all your comments in there then. And Eric, am I missing anything?
Pretty much. I mean, we'll make it more clear in the other video, but we just want to make sure that the comments go there, so we don't have to monitor 2 videos. Yeah. I guess it would have just been this one, but now I don't know if we're making more trouble or less trouble for ourselves.
We might be making more trouble.
But if you are interested in winning either I guess it'd just be a 1 kilogram spool of entwined filament. And then you designate what size or what millimeter diameter at that point. So it's going to be randomly chosen. There are going to be 2 prizes. The first one that we draw will be for the filament. The second one will be for a t-shirt, just this one.
Yep.
And then
official Fargo 3D printing shirt.
So pretty much if you're one of the chosen winners, we will reply with an email address. You would email us your information, and then you have 1 week to reply.
Yep. And we'll have all this info on the other video too. So just go watch that other video if you want to win a free spool of filament or a free T-shirt.
Tell your friends, tell your kids, tell your wives.
Yeah. Wives.
Yeah, I was trying to do the that one weird video.
Oh, hide your kids. Hide your
Yeah,
wives.
it didn't work out very well.
No, I got where you were. I got where you were coming from.
So just look forward to that. Look for that other video. I don't know if it's really something to look forward to, but if you'd like to test out the filament, this is actually coffee. I don't know why I grabbed that, but yeah, I think that's really all we had this week. I mean, there are some things that we could talk about maybe another time. I know Carbon 3D is pushing out into printing bureaus, but
they're kind of blowing up.
We should probably read into that a little bit more. But yeah, it's going to be interesting seeing how Carbon 3D and NuPro end up stacking up. So
yeah. All right. Well, on behalf of Eric Faldy and myself, John Schneider, we want to thank you for watching the Fargo 3D Printing Show. If you haven't already, subscribe below. Leave a comment if you have questions or think we should do something differently. If you haven't already, we're on a bunch of different social media channels: Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Instagram. Just hit us up. Again, thanks for watching. We need to have like papers that we just send out. Oh, that's business stuff.
Yeah, I figured like the St. Patrick's Day thing, Kieran actually commented on my Facebook about the patty.
Yeah.
And he like chewed me out. I was like, wait. Am I getting in trouble for doing like a Patrick Star thing? I don't want to have a problem. I don't know Catholic stuff.
Oh no, it's not that.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, he's just like, oh, it's a patty thing.